Number 1, which of the following graphs is a parabola that opens down? Remember, we always decide if a parabola opens up or down by the A value. If A is +1, then it will open up like a bowl. And if A is -1, it will open down like a hill. So A is always the number in front of the parentheses. So on A, it's 1. On B, it's 1. On C, it's -1. And on D, it's 1. So the one that has a negative A value is C. So our correct answer would be C. Number 2, what are the coordinates? Oh, that should be coordinates. For the vertex for the quadratic, y equals x minus 3 squared plus 2. So that's always found in this format by h comma k, right? So remember, we have A and then h inside parentheses and k at the end, where h is always the opposite sign of what it looks like. So this looks like a -3, so that means it's going to be a +3. K stays the same, so our vertex is going to be 3, 2, and so our correct answer will be B. Number 3, describe how the graph of y equals x plus 5 squared minus 8 has been shifted from 0, 0. So this is remembering that h is our horizontal movement and that k is our vertical movement. And h comma k together make the vertex, right? So we put those together in one piece, but they really do both control the horizontal and the vertical from the point 0, 0. So all you really have to do here is the same idea as above. Find that vertex. Okay, so our A is 1. Our H is always the opposite of what it looks like. So our H is -5. Our K is -8. So our vertex here is -5, -8. So how is -5, -8 shifted? Well, to plot this, right, we're going to go left 5, because it's negative, left 5, down 8, right? To plot that point, we're going from 0, 0, so if we're just looking at a coordinate plane, right, we're going left 5, down 8, and shifting it from that center, left 5, down 8. So this would be D. Number 4, we're looking at the graph on the right, so which describes the graph to the right. So it's basically saying write the equation. So we know we need to fill in an A value, an H value with its sign, and a K value with its sign. Okay, we know that this parabola opens up, and when it opens up, that's a +1. If it were to open down, that would be a -1. And then we need to name its vertex. So this has a vertex of -2, -1. So this is our H comma K. Okay, so our H is going to be the opposite sign. So instead of -2, a +2. And our K is going to stay as a -1. So this is the equation that we want. So if we look over here at our options, we are going to choose option B. 5, what is the axis of symmetry? So we can find this by doing x equals h, or just finding, right, the line that cuts this in the center, which is at -2. So we would pick x equals -2, which is option C. Number 6, what are the solutions? We find solutions by looking to see where they cross the x-axis, right? The x-intercepts are the same thing as solutions. So we know that this is -1 and -3, which would be option A. Number 7, how many solutions can a quadratic have? Well, it can have 2 solutions, right? This one up here has 2 solutions. It can have 1 solution if it's just sitting right on the axis. It can have no solutions if it doesn't cross the x-axis at all, which means it could have all of the above. Number 8, is the following linear, quadratic, or exponential? So when we're given ordered pairs, we want to think about this as a table. Whether you write it as a table or not doesn't really matter, as long as we're looking at those y values and we're seeing what's happening over here. So this is times 2, times 2, times 2. Now you might have to check. Okay, I can see that this is times 2, but you might have to say, okay, that's +1, +2, +4. So it's not linear, right? Go through those options and see which one it is. But when it's done through multiplication, that is exponential. Number 9, is the following linear, quadratic, or exponential? Olivia walks to the store at a constant rate. So if we are at a constant rate is always linear. Tom purchases a car for $12,000. Each year it decreases in value 4%. We want to know which of the following represents the price of the car over time. So our formula is y equals a, and then it's 1 plus or minus r, all to the x, where a is our starting value. So our starting value on this one is $12,000. Okay, then we're going to do 1, and then we have to pick either plus or minus. And on this one, it's decreasing. So if the value is decreasing, we're going down, which is subtraction. And then we want our rate in decimal format. So 4% as a decimal is going to be 0.04, all to the x. Now, if we look at our multiple choice options, we don't see this particular one because this hasn't been combined yet. So 1 minus 0.04 is going to be 0.96, and that's going to be option C.